Hello.
Hello.
And welcome to Experience Share. Please don't interrupt me, Joshua.
Well, it seemed like you were greeting me
episodes
instead of the bug catchers because you were saying it and then pausing for so long.
We just had a whole 15-minute conversation and caught up. I greeted you then, Joshua.
Yeah.
Now we're professionals.
Okay, well, just take it from the top.
Hello and welcome to Experience Share. It's a Pokemon podcast starring me. I have to stop doing that because I think I maybe stole it from Griffin McElroy.
Weren't we trying to make a feud with them a few seasons ago? Or
I
we
was
were
gonna
claiming
say
that?
It's the bug catcher's fault because they're difficult to mobilize. But last week, we called them up to duty, active service, and asked them to source a Mewtwo...
Armored Mewtwo.
Armored Mewtwo
the best
figurine
one.
for you.
Yeah.
And we got some links. Although I don't think it's quite right. It's some modern take on Armored Mewtwo where he's got more armor and it's all futuristic anime.
Yeah, it's
looking.
It's from Mewtwo Strikes Back that I see here. Well, first I will give, for the participants, I will give a respete to at AL Poston and at Jamie's Bowers 92 on Twitter for
so they are
sourcing
capable
it.
of being mobilized.
They can be mobilized for the right reason.
So we know
apparently.
we can start feuds, but let's talk about our Pokemon podcast. It's called Experience Share. My name is Tansier.
Pinsir?
Pinsir? Pinsir?
Tanser?
Ooh, Tanser.
Is it
Are we
Pinsir?
human?
Come on.
Or are we Tanser? AKA Tanner Greenring.
Again, I don't know. 2 weeks in a row. Just tacking the tan on the front of a Pokemon.
What do you want me to do, Joshua? You get in the cockpit here and try to steer this thing.
Well, why don't you try to say the next one for me?
Felxecutor.
Felxecutor. Felxecutor, I think is a little closer.
Felxecutor.
Felxecutor.
That's got a ring. Felxecutor.
I mean, it's basically as hard to say as my last name.
AKA Joshua Fjellstead. We are here. It's early in the morning on a weekday. Josh is squeezing us in before a meeting. He's really salary man now. So we're all lucky to have him. Thank you, Joshua, for joining us.
Just really got to work this in between all my meetings.
I'm really feeling fresh. This is the earliest record we've ever done.
I'm drinking, I'm slugging this coffee, so
any housekeeping? Any housekeeping that you need to take care of on your team before we begin on our journey?
No, that it was just the respete for the bug catchers who sent that Armored Mewtwo. I like it, and I've got my eye on it. I'm watching it on eBay.
Seeing if any honey deals come up for it.
I'm curious, to Tanner's point, if there is one that doesn't have the spikes. Mm-hmm. It's the Takara Tomy one from, I guess, Mewtwo Strikes Back. I guess
it looks great, but it's not quite right. I'm thinking original anime
or anime. Yeah, the one that's just in the
it's the
helmet
and
chamber,
gauntlets, right?
Yeah, and this one does have that, but the spikes are a little aggressive.
It's cool looking, but it's
talking about Mewtwo a little aggressive. Yeah, it's still fetching, but I am not quite ready to pull the trigger.
No other housekeeping you want to bring up? Nothing at all.
No,
I don't know. Any new surf records you want to set, or you know what we should do just while we're here at the beginning of the episode before we really get into the leg this week.
Yeah,
because this was a bit of a leg. We should probably take care of Totem Tally. It was a long leg, tons of stickers to pick up.
Figured we didn't really have to do that this week because we don't have that much.
So
time.
what was your Totem Tally this week?
80.
Whoa!
Which I was feeling really good about.
That's enough to go cash in on something, right?
Yeah, I don't remember what it is.
Yeah, cool. 85 for Skull Grunt. And I absolutely have no idea.
Where did you go?
Stumbled into 85.
Did you go other places?
No, I did the route. I did the dang route that you listed.
Maybe I got the number wrong. I feel like it's 80. Maybe it was 82. Either way, it's definitely not 85. But I don't really understand what I could have missed to get to that number.
I guess you just don't have that totem eye like I do, you know? There's something.
Yeah,
it's like a hunter's
last
sense.
week
Whenever
when
I see that little glisten anywhere, you know, I'm on it. I pounce.
There were some pretty clever ones that I was feeling pretty good about finding. I think mostly in that ancient pony path or something. But I don't know.
Yeah,
I guess now I'm going to have to go back, and I have a lot of training I'm going to have to keep doing in the next week. So
Yeah, pretty embarrassed for you.
Don't count me
You got
out.
a really busy schedule too. So
I also will say, in terms of housekeeping, I remember I went to the Poni Beach, and then I saw that it was a surf spot, and I was like, oh, wait, I need to make sure that I actually beat the leg first before I do this, and then I forgot. So I don't have a Mantine surf update. I didn't try it. Did you try it?
I don't care to. I'm gonna go.
You don't even have your score on here in the notes.
Yeah, I did one test run, and I was in fast motion. So I'm gonna go back and give it a real college try, and we'll maybe update the bug catchers both next week.
Okay, bug catchers, you will have to wait one more week for a Mantine surf
for
update.
leg 3. And I think I have an update on leg 2 too. I think I have to go back and check your score. I haven't gone back and looked.
Oh, Ula's the second leg. I was 25,380 on that.
Next week, the first 15 minutes is dedicated to like a whole Sports Center like segment where we're just gonna really dive deep into all of our Mantine surf results for all 3 of the available routes so far.
Yeah, take that, Greg Leatherman. You could just speed through the 15 minutes of the first part of the next episode because we're only talking about Mantine surf, which we love.
But it'll be richly produced, so you're really gonna kick yourself if you miss it.
Oh, great.
That's artistic.
Whose episode is that to edit? No, this is mine.
Yours.
You're the next. No, you're right. That one's mine. Okay, so great. Great. Thanks for the extra homework, too.
We're whisked away, Joshua.
Once again, I mean, we're just constantly, like, Parrothead is constantly just, like, at a beach bar, like, knocking back pineapple juices, and then somebody just, like, throws them onto a boat. Or they're like, hey, you know what happens on international waters, you know?
Last week, we talked about the sort of, like, glamour shots that they gave us of Lily at the end of our journey in the Aether Foundation.
The outfit origin story thing that
Pretty strange.
Really even remember.
I'm curious how they handle it in your game, because obviously in my games, my character is Skull Grunt. He is the leader of Team Skull after he has deposed Guzma and sent him to like the hell dimension where surely his like soul is being flayed.
Mm-hmm.
I now have access to a personal bodyguard, Gladion, and his cigarette boat. And that's kind of how I'm getting between the islands. There's even a huge like Team Skull like decal on the side of the boat. You can't miss it.
Oh, wow. I'm
curious how they handle it for Parrothead. Surely they don't give you access to the same boat. And if they did, you wouldn't take it, right?
No, I guess you wouldn't have taken it, but I believe you would have at least gotten a preview, a little taste of actually the boat that Parrothead predominantly makes his way around the Alolan Islands now, because that cigarette boat thing, that's like really not his style.
Yeah.
It's a little too fast.
And yeah. Maybe if you're going like tubing, you know, maybe if you're in the mood for some afternoon, like tubing behind a boat, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. And that, you know, he'll mix that in occasionally, but
just for a little thrill.
The way that he actually gets around was found in the Seafolk Village, which is that stunning Magikarp, like all wooden, enclosed Magikarp that's kind of a carriage style, and it's got a big lounge in the back.
Looks like it sailed right out of Animal Crossing and right into Pokemon.
It's got a
Sun and Moon.
Big bed in there, a whole tiki bar, a big
all these little houseboats,
chair.
So we've landed in Poni, Indiana, from Parks and Rec. It's an island in this game, but everyone's here.
Poni, yeah. That is how you say it, probably. Poni. Yeah, Poni Island.
I don't remember any of the characters' names now.
I don't either.
Ron Swanson.
I watched all of it, and I liked that show, but I only watched it once.
April O'Neil.
Chris Pratt.
I don't... Yeah. All of them are here in Poni Island.
Seafolk Village, which is...
Seafolk Village.
I think...
The county seat.
I don't know if you saw this interview with James Cameron, but I believe that he cited Seafolk Village from Pokemon Sun and Moon as being the inspiration for Avatar 2: The Way of Water.
I'll say this. I have not seen that interview. But in the same way I would warn maybe like a misguided uncle, I will warn you to be a little bit more dubious about that source that you're getting information from.
It's believable. I could see it. What the hell was he doing for the past 13 years waiting for this movie to come out but playing Pokemon?
The Way of Water.
Oh, you're missing out on a visual delight.
It's a lot of docks. Sort of a dock-based society.
The water Navi, whatever the hell their name is, I already forgot that. They have villages that are set up exactly like the Seafolk Village, where it's just like all out on like shallow waters.
Steelix boat.
Yeah, they get around in Magikarp and Steelix boats.
What are the boats? There's a Steelix boat. There's some other big boat. What is it?
Miku, what the hell's her name? She has something else. What's her
remember.
deal? Mina? She always looks high.
Oh yeah, she's the captain. She's like an artist. Suspiciously, she's wearing like a white smock, like an artist's smock, and suspiciously, it's covered in the exact same colored splotches of paint as was splattered all over Po Town.
That is sort of actually a pretty interesting observation that I had not connected previously.
Makes you wonder, like, she's just like fresh off the crime scene. But she seems pretty, she seems like Parrothead's people, I would say, to put it politely.
Oh, definitely.
She seems a little distracted.
We spent some time on her boat.
She seems a little fatigued, little slow to respond, a little sluggish.
Yeah. I'm just trying to see.
Are a little droopy.
What is her boat? God damn, I can't find it. Wish Cash. There we go.
Oh, yeah, which looks incredible.
Yeah, that's probably the best one, but, we became buds, so Parrothead spent a lot of time on that boat, but, I'm not a villain. I'm not going to take it. We bought that Magikarp one, though.
Yeah. No, I'm going to, I don't know what I'll do. Maybe burn the whole thing to the ground.
Well, Jesus. What?
Is that too villainous? That's like not Pokemon. Yeah,
why are you just burning it to the ground?
I don't know. I'm not an evil person, Joshua. I'm still trying to calibrate here. I'm calibrating.
I like that boat. I'm going to just burn it.
It's definitely a fire hazard. All wood. Yikes.
So you're just like Edie Falco in Avatar 2, The Way of Water.
I guess so.
Go see Avatar 2, The Way of Water, bug catchers. We got to make sure that James Cameron gets his $2 billion at the box office so we could see the other 3 movies.
Let me ask you about some of the sights and sounds around Seafolk Village.
All right.
Did you do any fishing?
I did. Well, I did, but not here. I went fishing on the Poni Breaker Coast.
Well, you can do some fishing right here in Seafolk Village. And if you do, you fish up some refuse that I'm going to say... tentatively, is my You Make Me Barf Pokemon of the week.
Oh, wow.
But I'm more barf curious about it because when I did catch it, I thought, oh, yeah, here it is. Going right at the top of the barf list. And then as I fought more of them and caught one, because it's definitely evil, I decided that it's actually really cool and I like it. And it's called Delmise.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you can catch that in there?
You can fish for them in the village.
That's interesting. I've kind of always I have experimented with it a little bit. It's not a barf for me. I think the concept being as interesting as it is makes it not.
Oh, you have there's that little, so if you go into the Steelix boat and you go out the back door, there's a little dock there where you can fish off of at a bubbling spot.
Yeah.
And if you fish there, your chances of getting a Delmise are way higher. But you can get a really low chance of getting a Delmise everywhere else.
Delmise would fit on Parrothead's team, I think. I mean,
it's pretty fucking cool. At first I saw it, I was like, oh, gross. It's like a big ugly anchor with like it's like Magneton. It's like a bastardization of Magneton and the sword Pokemon.
Yeah, Aegislash,
where it's like a Magneton holding an anchor, and the anchor is also its like schnoz.
12 foot 10 inches tall.
Jesus, that's cool. He's called a Sea Creeper Pokemon, and he's got literary origins too.
Well,
Bulbapedia. This is a Tanny's facty, I guess. Bulbapedia's, I think, like editorial board is a little lacking.
Yeah, there's some of the, I mean, as we've detailed over the past few years, their origins will often say appears to or maybe this.
Yeah, that's
also
the
might
here.
Be this. And it's like, why don't you just land on one thing?
They say here that it's a combination of demise and helm, which the helm eyes. is, I think, the way Bulbapedia wants us to pronounce it. So I guess we'll go with the official pronunciation. Since we get so much shit about how we pronounce Pokemon names, we'll go with the official Bulbapedia pronunciation, Dehelmise.
Dehelmise?
For this one. Sounds great. Anyway, it's a cool Pokemon, and it's not my You Make Me Barf Pokemon. It took a journey to get there.
Oh, but you didn't even say what its
a ghost
literary
grass.
origin is.
Oh, sorry. They say that it's based on... Oh, it's in Dracula, where a ship captain is found tied to his...
Helm of the ship.
Helm.
After being drained by the protagonist.
By Dracula.
Sure. Or...
That's cool.
Captain Ahab.
Sure. And then again, that was me questioning the editorial board. Because they don't say anything. They're just like... They're like, oh, Captain
Dracula
Ahab.
one is better. Just go with that. That makes more sense.
Maybe we should get in there. I guess it's a wiki. I guess we could get in there and do some work.
Just start
do
disputing things.
Yeah.
Well, I like it, and I'm curious if you're going to be running it now, if that's what you're implying.
We'll see. I guess Ghost Grass is what it is, which is kind of weird. It doesn't evolve into or from anything, but, it's a giant 12-foot anchor, ghost anchor.
Well,
I don't know where it could go from there.
Is it a chill guy?
Could evolve into like a giant ocean liner.
I don't think it.
Let's talk
it could
about
become an entire like sentient haunted ship. That would be kind of cool.
That'd be cool. Its ability is Steel Worker, which boosts steel type moves by 50%. So it must learn some steel moves too.
That's pretty interesting, and it does.
But does not have stab on those steel moves.
Must be incredibly slow, which it is. It's interesting because it's extremely boat themed.
Let's talk about whether or not it's evil, because I just sort of made the call that it was.
Because
it's got kind ghost. It's a ghost. It's got sort of sinister seaweed eyebrows that make it look like it's scowling. Mm-hmm. You see that?
Yeah.
And it's got chilly. It's got dark vibes. Let's go check out the lyrics.
Yeah, but you could also interpret.
It's all about like draining people's like life force.
It's instruments that are its eyes, as though it's like winking coyly at you.
Sure. You know what? You know where my defense of it being a chill Pokemon is it feels like a very like spooky villain in like a 1960s Disney kind of way. Like it's the kind of thing you would see on like a scary dark ride.
And it's kind of campy, I think.
It's campy and fun, and therefore I think would fit on like a paired head team. But you know what? I also think it fits on a Skull Grunt team. So
I really think it could go either way. Whoever gets there first, if they want it. But
and according to Lord Greg Leatherman, any Pokemon can be good or evil. It depends on the trainer.
Well,
sounds like some real anime shit to me.
That's true, but that is also, I think it's pretty hard to deny a Jimmy Buffett themed team from having a big anchor on it.
Yeah, pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'm not running it yet, so I guess we'll see. Maybe we'll have to rock, paper, scissors over it. Did you talk to the veteran? This fucking island is just full of these like jort wearing like Kevin James length pant veterans.
Yeah, that's one of them is the one that I bought the Magikarp
Kevin James
boat from.
Kevin James is the guy from King of Queens, right?
Isn't that Paul Blart Mall Cop? Yeah.
Yeah.
And
who's the other guy? Who's Silent Bob? Who wears the long pants?
Oh, God.
Kevin Smith.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's exactly what they're like. That's who I negotiated with to buy my Magikarp boat.
Oh, yeah, and the Steelix boat. There's a guy who... it's I think maybe a female veteran. I think if you show her an Alolan Raichu, she'll give you Alo Raichium Z.
Oh, what?
I'm surprised you missed it.
I'm starting to think that Parrothead was still in a haze when he landed here and like maybe didn't explore Seafolk Village as much as he should have. And also
Kelpie berry juices or whatever.
Maybe that is where all of those totem stickers that I don't have are.
Oh yeah, this village is saturated in totem stickers.
We do end up
everywhere.
Back in Seafolk Village at the end of this leg, so I will be taking a closer look at this place.
There's also a guy here who will just, he's willing to teach you this incredible Pokemon move called Dragon Ascent. And he takes a look at your party and says, oh, sorry, you don't have any Pokemon who learn Dragon Ascent.
Oh, yeah.
So I asked him, what Pokemon learned Dragon Ascent? And he said, only one. Fucking Rayquaza.
Yeah, like,
So come back to me when you have the legendary Pokemon Rayquaza on your
that
team.
you can't even get in this game. We need a guy dedicated to giving that move away to a Pokemon you can't even get in this game.
Yeah. Oh, I guess I left my fucking Master Ball with Rayquaza in it in my old, like, Team Grunt uniform.
And you can still get Dragon Ascent in the Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire. You don't need to. Why do you need it here?
I think this is some like gamer nonsense shit. Like every now and then you just encounter one of these gamer nonsense shit things where it's like some leak gamer is porting Rayquaza into this game for some reason.
Yeah.
Some competition battle reason and needs to put Dragon Totem or Dragon Ascent on it.
Yeah, that's definitely right.
Get out of my role-playing experience, you elite gamers.
Yeah, we're filthy casuals over here.
What's Skull Grunt supposed to do with this?
Yeah.
And then one last person here, Josh, and this is the centerpiece of a segment called "Is It a Bad Guy?"
Okay.
There's a woman here on I think she's on one of the boats. We'll just hand you an Aerodactyl.
Jesus, I missed that too.
She just says, "Here's an Aerodactyl. Do you want it or not?" And you say yes, and you put it in your box because you need to ask your co-host, "Is it a bad guy?"
It's got a mean
It
look.
is rock flying.
Mega
interesting
Aerodactyl,
combination.
especially.
Mega Aerodactyl looks like a fucking black metal album cover.
Yeah.
It's like screeching above like four men playing guitars. Dark energy, dark look. You don't seem like you have much of a fight in you over this. You seem like you're ready to just
It
cave.
feels pretty neutral, but it feels like I feel like it's in the Poliwrath situation where it's like this thing could just fly off the handle pretty much instantly.
Yeah, I think so too. And in the right hands, it could be pretty dangerous.
Its teeth are like saw blades.
It's less a Pokemon and more a
It's
weapon.
described as savage. Is it nice in the anime? I doubt it.
Doesn't look like it from some of the screenshots I'm seeing on Bulbapedia. He's often breathing fire at people.
Used to be used by an
seems
evil
like.
trainer to torment the civilians of Alto Mare.
Seems
Feels
pretty bad.
more twisted than not. I don't have a good reason to say that it's nice.
Okay.
You
Great.
want it? Are you gonna do it? You care?
Isn't it like semi-legendary or something? It's like a good Pokemon,
Well,
right?
It's a fossil Pokemon.
I thought it was like known to be good. They gave it a Mega Evolution.
It's definitely good.
Someone must like it.
It's good. It's got good stats, decent stats.
You know what? It's about having.
I think it's outclassed by
options.
Archeops now. The rock flying ancient
that's certainly
Pokemon.
never gonna fly with me.
No. If you want anything like that, you're gonna have to go for Aerodactyl.
It's embarrassing that you don't have an Archeops yet, and I know you've run it. and I don't want to hear it. If there's any one Pokemon who looks like a parrot, more like a parrot.
Isn't the problem that you have the fossil in Ultra Moon that gives Archie the baby?
Find a way,
one?
Joshua. Life finds a way. Mobilize the bug catchers.
Well, yeah, couldn't you just give me one if I really wanted to do it?
I don't think so.
Yeah, right. Well, I don't know. I'm trying to do.
Fine.
I'll think about it. Could be a late game.
I mean,
Reveal.
there's.
I would have to trade though.
600 official Pokemon that I've never seen before. So maybe one of them looks more like a parrot, but maybe like Chatot.
Yeah. Well, I'm not running that thing.
All right, back to Poni. Tell me where you went after Seafolk Village.
Well, we are here.
After this break. Joshua, we've been unceremoniously dumped on the docks of Seafolk Village and told to seek out the kahuna of Poni. I think her name is Leslie Nope.
Yeah, good one. Keep
And
running with the joke.
And we arrive, and this like stoner on the dock, I think it's April Ludgate, her assistant, is like, sorry. She won't tell you outright. She's like, the kahuna thing is sort of an issue here. You should definitely go seek out Hapu for more information. And so now that's our mission.
Who's
We've
Hapu?
explored the village.
What do you have the Parks and Rec wiki open now? Still, you want to keep the?
Who's Hapu? Let's see. I just have a Google search for Parks and Rec character names open. Hapu is Jean-Ralphio Saperstein.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, we are being sent on a
seek her
wild goose chase to go try to find the kahuna of
And we're
this
told
island.
apparently she lives in, I don't know, the Ruins of Hope. They're like, we need to contrive some way to get the player to something called the Ruins of Hope. So that's where Hapu is. Go find her.
Yeah.
But first you have to take this ancient Poni path. Just so you can really get a whole a flavor of Poni Island. The whole thing about Poni Island is there's only one small village here, or a couple of small villages, including Seafolk Village. Mm-hmm. But most of the island is uninhabited wilds with lots of crazy Pokemon to experience and catch.
Yeah, it's a
including maybe
pretty close
the big bad Pokemon on the cover of the game.
And it's a pretty clear prototype for the wild areas in Sword and Shield. This whole section is like Pony Beach, Pony Wilds, and the Ancient Pony Path are all very intertwined, and you can spend as little or as much time in them.
Although not a ton of talent in terms of Pokemon in these grasses.
Yeah, I was not enticed by...
Unless you really love Pelipper's.
Lots of Gastrodons.
I do not like this. Is this what a Gastrodon always looked like?
Yeah.
I think it looks dumb. It was almost make me barf, but that felt a little severe.
Yeah, that's very severe. I still like it.
Lots of frou-frous. Really some barfy Pokemon out here. The only thing really holding us up are these dang boulders. These dang, like, blocks, ancient blocks that someone has left all over the island.
Oh, yeah. And we've seen them at our other, ancient sites previously.
I have an idea. I've actually seen this kind of thing before. There's a TM an HM called Strength.
Oh, yeah.
And if you teach it to a Pokemon, it can just move the blocks out of the way. And you don't need to do anything fucking disgusting in the process.
You don't have to compromise your morals. That sounds good.
Yeah.
Let's do that one.
Because when you arrive at the ancient Pawnee path, you're told that Hapu is there. And she's like, glad you can make it. Or maybe it's not even Hapu. It's Hapu's grandma or Hapu's mom or something.
I think it's her grandmother. Hapu's here as well, but
someone teaches you this new power.
Her grandmother does, yeah.
On your ride pager. It's my item finder of the week. It's called Machamp Shove.
Whoa.
And the way it works is you get in your gear, as you do when you ride any ride pager animal.
Yeah, put on your little outfit.
You put on your little ride outfit, skin tight, like aerodynamic bodysuit.
Yeah. Cleated shoes.
Like neoprene. Yeah, cleated shoes. Like elbow pads. And Machamp uses his bottom two arms to pick you up and cradle you like a little baby.
Mm-hmm. Like how I pick up my cat Winston.
And then he uses his top two arms to shove boulders out of your way.
Yeah.
And he can run. If you hold down B, you can make Machamp run with you in his little arms.
It's all very strange. This one felt weird.
It feels like they're baiting us. And once again, I feel like I need to step in and just sort of say, like, Pokemon Company, Game Freak, this feels irresponsible.
Really putting that freak in Game Freak.
You're shaping an entire generation.
To want to be picked up by Machamp's burly, glistening arms and be carried around.
Fine. You know what? Whatever. You know what else you're doing? You're creating an entire industry. You should see some of the communities I've seen online dedicated to stuff like Machamp picking you up with his little bottom arms.
Yeah. Game Freak is secretly in Big Furry's pocket.
They've invested a lot into Big Furry.
It's definitely
seems like it's really paid off too.
Definitely. That investment was
seems
worthwhile.
Like a huge industry.
Do you think this one is kind of... It's like, why would the trainer even need to be picked up? It's like, why doesn't the Machamp just go and shove everything?
Why can't I ride his shoulders? You know, like he should hold on to my ankles with his top arms while I'm riding his shoulders. Maybe that's also bad though.
That's bad.
It's a lose-lose.
Yeah, it's a lose-lose. I just
you could ride in a little backpack
sure
like Yoda.
We have to be on
like
the
peek
Machamp
out over his shoulder.
That's cute.
That would be fun.
Again,
or like a little platform on his back. Maybe that's. But then Machamp sort of walks this line between man and Pokemon, like man and animal, and having a little platform on his back feels a little odd.
Yeah, that feels manipulative.
We know they don't. We know they don't like it. Rotom told us last week he was screaming from inside of his Dex, his glass prison.
Oh yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of pretty questionable blurred lines in here. You know what?
Yeah.
But in any case, we have Machamp Shove now, and that allows us to push around,
solve some puzzles,
big blocks, very simple
solve
puzzles.
one puzzle,
right.
I think.
One puzzle so far, although I recall from whatever the ruins of light or life or whatever it was back on one of the other islands had big stones, big blocks that we will be able to push now.
Julia is out here on the ancient Poni path, or actually she's back on the Poni wilds. But did you take a battle with Dancer Julia?
I don't remember
did you
Julia.
Pick up her dance ticket? I think maybe you have to go back to the beach after doing something. Maybe she was here as a double battle with someone at one point. Yeah, and they both have Mayan Foos.
Oh, I fought the Mayan Foo person.
If you come back, I think the woman of the couple is here again, and you can face off against her again. And she's got a pretty hot team, but it confirms what you've always said, which is that her team of 4 Oricoreos, each of the different variations, it went down pretty quick and easy for old Skull Grunt.
Yeah, I see. Oh, yeah, you can return to the dancer, and then you can fight her, Julia. Well,
and she gives you a focus sash, which is a pretty good little prize.
I gotta go back and do a little bit more of a tour of these wilds and the Seafolk Village.
It sounds like you really just sort of took the
easy
studio tour.
Ancient Pony Path.
You didn't really leave the little cart.
No. She's got all the Oricorios. That sounds fun to look at. Yeah.
Tear through them pretty easily, though. And then you get a focus sash. Then we're at the Ruins of Hope, which is where we've been told to go to seek out Hapu. We find her.
Oh, there was also a nice little, this happened to me because I read a book back in the Mali library, because the green books, like in any kind of like old animated like film, you know, you could always tell in these games if there's an object you can interact with, where it will be like brighter and
it's a little different.
Yeah, than like the background stuff. And there's a book, if you pull out and read some little story in Mali library, that a book with like I think a Mudsdale and then like a young girl falls out, a photo. And if you've opened that book and then you talk to the grandmother after getting inside the house, after getting the Machamp shove, she'll reminisce about like, oh, that was back when I was a little girl with my beloved Mudsdale. And then she gives you a heart scale.
Yeah.
And then
that is cute.
Then you listen to her and you head out to the ruins.
Is that Hapu? Hapu's a time traveler?
No, that's the Mudsdale that is Hapu's / ours. Because isn't that the Mudsdale that we summon with the right
we
major?
Call it, yeah.
That's what I think is confusing, and there is some amount of at least teleportation going on. But anyway, this immortal Mudsdale was Hapu's grandmother's and is now Hapu's / ours.
/ ours, and we find them. We find Hapu outside of the Ruins of Hope, and we dive in. We use our Machamp to push some. Well, we use our Machamp to take a little nap in his sweet, nurturing arms.
Oh yeah.
Well, he shoves around some big blocks, and we find Hapu at the heart of the ruins. We've just missed this wild ceremony, this beautiful ceremony. You only see it once in a lifetime.
Yeah,
We've just missed
it.
Apparently, the Tapu Fini, the Tapu of the island. Are the Tapu Pokemon? They are, right? We get a shot at catching these things?
They are Pokemon. I cannot remember
one of these things.
If we get the shot at catching them. I'm sure we must.
Tapu Fini has just made the kahuna-less Poni kahuna again by giving the kahuna-ship to Hapu. So now we've got a grand kahuna of Poni again. Hapu thanks you for your service and says essentially just like, this is new to Ultra Sun and Moon, and we couldn't figure out a way to make it fit into the main sequence of the story. So I'm just going to tell you outright that if you fly to this new island called Executor Island, there'll be a little mini game there, and then you can get the moon flute that you were previously missing, having been given the sun flute by Gladion.
Right.
And the inverse is true of your friend Parrothead. Mm-hmm. And I said, thank you, Hapu. Very good advice. So I flew to Executor Island.
You fly back to Seafolk Village, and then you get a ride.
Pokemon Crossroads, I can't wait to see how what happened in the original Sun and Moon here, because this is clearly just stuck on.
Yeah,
Ultra Sun and Moon.
They make up. I I didn't even remember that. Like, so Executor Island is maybe maybe it's only an Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon is what you mean?
I don't know. It just like clearly seems out of place. She's just like, you should fly here and get the other flute. And you're like, okay, I will. And you fly there. And when you get there, there's some Alolan executors here.
And that Alolan executor is Joshy's sweetie.
Interesting.
Come on.
No, I agree. But it's interesting because the Alolan executors out here are being plagued by something, and they've gone sort of wild.
But once you settle them down,
fits.
They're very chill.
But the thing that is causing their fits is my actual... Well, I guess I wrote here it's a disgusted gag of the week because it didn't really make me barf, and I think this thing has been my barf before. But
I would be surprised if not.
The 3D models in this modern game do Pinsir no favors. He looks pretty bad. His weird little, just like perfectly like oval-shaped mouth with like rib teeth.
It's like a gaping maw with the like sideways teeth that like move. Like
they found pretty good ways
keys
to modernize all of those like original Pokemon sprites, you know, and make them feel like actual creatures. But Pinsir just looks like a bad update.
Yeah, they've never really been able to figure out what to do with Pinsir, and they're stuck with it.
So here we are. We're both out here on Executor Island with both of our sweeties and our barfies. And we've dispatched the barfies to free the sweeties to be their sweet little selves once again. And in doing so, unlocked something that could have easily just been a ride pager move, but I guess they thought handing them out that liberally would be a little weird. Because instead we just like walk up to these Alolan executors and shimmy up their necks to sort of go between levels.
Yeah.
Vertical levels, I mean. Because we have to climb to the top of this hill where, sure enough, just on like a podium,
just
no
sitting
pomp,
out there
no circumstance.
For anybody to take it.
There's the flute, the other one. Now you've got both flutes. Still absolutely no idea what to do with them.
But we have them.
Or why I have them, or why they've been given to me.
It's to summon one of the box art Pokemon, and that box art Pokemon somehow has something to do with
can't wait to see
opening up an Ultra Wormhole, etc.
Yeah, maybe he'll pull Guzma out of hell.
Yeah.
That would be great for Guzma.
We're all just trying to save Guzma and Lusamine from the depths of hell.
There was no big battle this week, really, but let's check in on our teams, because it seems like maybe there's been a little bit of movement that we should sound off on in level check.
Level check.
What do you got this week? Anything interesting? Anything new?
Yeah, there's not a lot of movement on Parrothead's flock. They're still just searching for that lost shaker of salt. And Jimmy Buffett, Alolan Raichu at level 56, is still leading that search.
Yeah, and probably has some pretty stunning moves now, holding that Alu Raichu MZ, huh?
Soon enough. And then Coconut, the Passimian's level 52. Fruitcakes, the Noivern is level 54. Cheeseburger, Snorlax, level 52. Joe Merchant, Talonflame, level 54. And then my equivalent, I guess, of the chopping block, because that's a little aggressive for Parrothead, is on ice.
Oh, cool.
You'll see Cheeseburger is still on the team at the moment, but I'm testing out whether the team is more powerful with Cheeseburger, the Snorlax, who is on ice, and then Tango, the Toucanon, who's level 51, is on ice, and I was trying out what does the team feel like without Toucanon, and then this next week it will be without Snorlax. And then now that there are other Pokemon that have been opened up to me, we might see one or both or another Pokemon get swapped out and put on ice.
So you got some fresh faces here in Poni.
The new one is Alolan Vulpix, because I don't know about you, but I'm pretty sure you literally are hearing, perhaps even smelling something distinct in the air, and it's the banana wind that calls you to have a holiday.
It's odd. I don't know if I've ever heard the banana wind calling me.
You've never
Sounds great.
Never felt fever, depression, anger, or aggression, looking for a remedy.
Is this a BetterHelp ad?
And it's not some kind of talking rocket science. The answer to the questions is fairly plain to see. You need a holiday.
Oh, yeah.
And
I am
that's
taking
the Banana
one, actually,
Wind.
on Sunday.
Yeah.
So I actually have heard the call of the Banana Wind. Who is Banana Wind?
Alolan Vulpix, because the song Holiday off the great late album, 1996, Banana Wind by Jimmy Buffett. But sort of a untrodden, forgotten gem.
Popular one?
And it's all about how the Weather Channel girl has her perfect weather curl, and she talks about how it's cold, just like Alolan
We don't need
Vulpix.
more Jimmy Buffett lyrics.
No?
I think
But anyway,
Alolan
Banana Wind.
Vulpix is fine, and I'm not going to make a fuss over it. But I'm gonna quietly judge you until it turns into a big cloud of weed smoke.
It will be in the next week. I needed to get a couple more moves. It's only level 32, and I've been raising it since level 1.
I think it's interesting. I think your team is interesting. It's looking interesting.
Yeah, we'll add ice and fairy to it.
So chill.
So
So many cool, chill Pokemon, and also a Fire Falcon, and also a Bat Dragon. Skull Grunt.
Yeah, what's he got?
Admin Courtney, Alolan Muck, level 54. Still loving it.
Mm-hmm.
Commander Mars, Lopunny, level 53. Colress, Vikavolt, level 53. Giovanni, Incineroar, level 54. And then there's been some movement, Joshua.
Oh, yeah. So the chopping block chopped?
Chopping block chopped Alolan Marowak. Alolan Marowak, you've done your service. Your name was Mabel.
Something, yeah.
And your services will no longer be required. I am bringing up to the big leagues Totem, Salazzle,
Yeah.
Jesse, level 50.
I couldn't believe Salazzle wasn't on this team already. And is that just because did you just unlock it?
I unlocked it a while ago. I think it was like the level 50 totem prize from Samson Oak.
Salazzle checks a lot of boxes for both Skull Grunt and I think Tanner as well.
Certainly, for Affinity Admin Tanner, certainly.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've done a sexy Pokemon. She's a sexy lizard, or he or she. And they are fire poison, which is kind of unnecessary, wildly unnecessary on my team.
Yeah, that's true.
But it is a totem, which is fun.
When they are a totem Pokemon on your team, do you know what does that add?
Nope, they don't seem to be any bigger or any more interesting. Maybe they have better stats that I just haven't noticed. But
I assume so. Oh, yeah, it enters battle at +1 special defense, so I presume when you have it on your team, it also does that.
Oh, no, they are totem-sized. I guess I just didn't really notice. Yeah, but they're pretty big.
So they're just bigger?
I guess so. I honestly didn't really notice, which makes me think that's, well, whatever.
I feel like it must be that they get their buff when they enter. Did they do anything when you brought Salazzle into a battle? Did it animate?
Totem-sized Pokemon have larger heights and weights compared to their original counterparts, which changes the mechanics of some moves. Totem-sized Pokemon can have a particular ability as listed below. Oh, they have different abilities, I guess. And I guess I just didn't notice that. But my Salazzle has something called Corrosion, which is, I think, the signature ability of Salazzle. So all Salazzles have Corrosion.
Okay.
And my last Pokemon, Joshua, that I've replaced
they're just
on
bigger,
my team,
basically, yeah,
is also a totem Pokemon, and it's called Mimikyu, and its name is James.
Oh, that's cute, Jesse and James.
And it's level 50. I got Jesse and James up to level 50.
So you were placed.
Yeah, and here's some bad guy shit for you. I had a Mimikyu who I've raised up and beloved love.
I taught you to love Mimikyus.
Yeah, and I pretty quickly boxed it so that I could pull out this big totem Pokemon, Mimikyu, who I named James, which is a much better name than Petrol. Who remembers Petrol?
I didn't. I continue to not. I even looked him up at some point, and then I forgot.
So, welcome to the team, Jesse and James, Salazzle and Mimikyu, level 50. Totems! Big boys.
Yeah, they're big boys, and maybe not much else, but...
Yeah, and also James is
it's cute that they're
female Mimikyu.
How, speaking of gender politics, how are things with Lopunny and Incineroar going? Did they
Poorly,
resolve?
honestly, no. It's gotten very it's sort of moved into that kind of
problems?
icy phase now, where they're not communicating.
Oh my god!
Even their communications through me and some of the other intermediates on the team, like Alolan Muck.
Oh, Admin Courtney's
has
all
gotten pretty
tangled up in
nasty.
this. Ooh.
Yep. So it's not going well. We're still sort of seeing if maybe someone else, I don't want to let you know how the sausage is made, but we're interviewing other people who might be good for Incineroar.
They interview
some other candidates.
Lopunny interviews people to
it's a little
make
setup.
the relationship decisions.
Not Lopunny. No, Lopunny is essentially like a cut from the team.
Oh.
She's there in body, but she rarely ever makes it into battle.
Oh, wow. So I don't hear wedding bells, I guess.
We're on a new island with lots of new Pokemon, and there's definitely an opening on the team. I love Lopunny. Don't get me wrong. She's great. I think she's just sort of outlived her usefulness on the team.
Yeah, I could see that.
Honestly, Vickervolt is looking a little spicy too.
Jesus. You're really only dedicated to Alolan Muck, of all things.
And Incineroar.
I see.
And I think Mimikyu. But yeah, who knows? Poni Island's pretty interesting. There's lots of crazy Pokemon out here. Joshua, we should go. It's the workday. The workday has started. We have to get to work.
We have business to do.
So let's head out. Joshua, Bugcatchers, thank you for joining us this week. My name has been Tancer, and I'm joined as always by my co-host, Fjellexecutor.
That's
Fjellexecutor.
Yeah.
Please do rate and review the show on Apple Podcasts, and do follow the show anywhere that you follow podcasts, and do follow us at EXPSharePod on Twitter and Instagram.
And check out the subreddit, reddit.com/r/bugcatchers, and buy some merch at expsharepod.com, just like all the other stuff, except for that subreddit. But that's where everybody kind of cuts loose. It's Reddit. It's a little bit more unhinged.
Yeah. It's owned by Condé Nast, known for
unhinged,
being unhinged.
Yeah.
See you next week, Joshua, and Alola to you, Bugcatchers.
Alola, enjoy that banana wind, and smell you later.